to be, it must be seen as the foundation
Perhaps
of Mahayana.
I would like to take a few questions. Microphone. I take one
As well as
microphone
how we-
in the center. In the center. Then those people who have some questions, then come. Oh yes, that also you can put in the center. Yes?
Good afternoon, Your Holiness. Recently you had gone to Chhattisgarh and meditated in the caves in which Nagarjuna had meditated. And could you share your experiences and what did you feel about Nagarjuna meditating in those caves and your own presence there and reading those texts there?
Raipur, yes. Raipur, yes.
Chhattisgarh, yes.
Since my first visit there, I think the professor told me near, you see that town, one Nagarjuna's cave there, and he mentioned monsoon retreat Nagarjuna used to spend there. So as soon as I heard that, I determined I must go there as a follower or student of Nagarjuna, a great sort of thinker. So then, last year, I managed to visit that cave. Yes, not much time, not easy to reach there. When we reach there, our energy half almost gone. So not much sort of serious meditation. So nothing sort of special. However, one occasion and near Nagarjuna Kandra, Andhra Pradesh, when I give some teaching there, and before the main teaching, I also give some teaching, explanation about the Paticca-samuppada, the subtle level of Paticca-samuppada. There, while I sort of explaining some, deeper understanding and real feeling, with feeling, which is developed. And then, of course, the Nagarjuna's philosophy, I think since now over 60 years, I meditate or analyze daily basis. I think every day, maybe 10, 20 times thinking or some kind of analytical meditation. So decade by decade, the experience become deeper, deeper, deeper. Still, I never sort of say I have sort of real realization, deeper level understanding that I develop. So, very, very helpful. Altruism is own way to sort of combat or to tackle the self-centered attitude and the extreme selfishness, these things. The understanding about the shunyata, Paticca-samuppada, subtle level, it's really, you see, creates sort of new outlook to everybody, to anything, anything. Yourself, myself, and human beings, dependent existence. But as a result of sort of understanding about the Nagarjuna's sort of theory of emptiness, really now appears these things as a sort of mirage survey, like that. It appears something objectively exists, but with the understanding, nothing objectively exists. So it really affects our destructive emotion, which based on ignorance. So that I can say, you see, according to my own experience, really this is not just a philosophical sort of just idea, but really affects your destructive emotion. Like that. So my own case, this is last 60 years effort. So not easy.
हेलो तो जैसा कि प्रश्न कभी पूछा
Or some, when I was in the cave, I didn't notice. You see, some people saw one white snake, something significance. I don't think. That's too much superstition. Oh yes, Nagarjuna. See the painting of Nagarjuna always, you see, the five snakes had. So sometimes some people ask me why that. You see, there are some sort of stories. I didn't believe fully, but then I jokingly telling, in order to protect mosquito, eat mosquito. Of course, Nagarjuna's head, you see, seems to be. Then I think mosquito, immediately go there. If mosquito come in my room, I will tell mosquito, go there. One my friend, you see, his head is ready to serve blood. That's it.
तो अभी ये प्रश्न पूछा गया कि परम पावन जी रायपुर में एक गुफा है, नागार्जुन की गुफा, तो वहाँ आपको जाकर के कैसा अनुभव हुआ, उसके बारे में ये प्रश्न किया गया। परम पावन जी बता रहे हैं कि वहाँ पर एक प्रोफेसर थे, तो उन्होंने बताया कि इस एरिया में, इस क्षेत्र में नागार्जुन की एक गुफा है और नागार्जुन यहाँ पर मानसून के दौरान आया करते थे और ध्यान भावना या यहाँ पर निवास करते थे। तो मैं नागार्जुन का अनुयायी होने के नाते, उनका एक चेला होने के नाते मैं भी वहाँ देखने के लिए गया। हालांकि जाना काफ़ी मुश्किल था, लेकिन फिर भी वहाँ पर उस गुफा में एक सर्प था। तो सर्प मैंने तो नहीं देखा, शायद हो सकता है कि वहाँ एक सफ़ेद सर्प था। तो अभी कि जैसा कि लोग कहते हैं कि उनके, कुछ लोग ऐसा भी पूछते हैं कि नागार्जुन के 5 सर क्यों थे, तो मैं मजाक में कहता हूँ कि शायद उनको मच्छर न काट पाए, मच्छर को काटने से बचने के लिए शायद ये 5 सर होंगे, तो प्रत्येक सांप वो मच्छर को काट लेता होगा, इत्यादि बातें। नागार्जुन कुंडा में टीचिंग के में जब धर्म उपदेश दे रहा था, तो उस दौरान मैंने प्रतीत समुत्पाद पर व्याख्या दी। लगभग मुझे 60 वर्ष हो चुके हैं। मैं हर बार 60 वर्षों से मैं प्रतीत समुत्पाद अर्थात शून्यता का अभ्यास करता आ रहा हूँ और रोज़ लगभग 10 या 20 बार मैं जो करता हूँ और प्रतीत समुत्पाद के जो सिद्धांत हैं उसका अभ्यास करता हूँ। तो हालांकि मुझे कोई खास अनुभव नहीं हुआ, मैं ऐसा करने से, इस प्रकार का अभ्यास करने से मुझे काफ़ी लाभ हुआ है, मुझे संतुष्टि हुई है। तो इसके द्वारा जो स्वार्थ की भावना है वो नष्ट होती है, अहंकार की भावना नष्ट होती है और दूसरों को मदद करने की एक हमारे अंदर जो भावना है वो उत्पन्न होती है। तो इस प्रकार के जो अभ्यास से स्वयं तो फ़ायदा होता ही है, दूसरों को भी फ़ायदा होता है। शून्यता को समझने से जितनी भी चीज़ें, जितने भी धर्म हैं वो स्पष्ट हो जाते हैं, उनके प्रति हमारी जो सोच है वो अच्छी हो जाती है, स्पष्ट हो जाती है। हालांकि जितने भी चीज़ें हैं जो हम समझते हैं कि उनका अस्तित्व वास्तव में है, उनका अस्तित्व वास्तव में नहीं होता है, वो अपने तरफ से स्वतंत्र नहीं होती हैं। तो जब हम प्रतिसमुत्पाद अर्थात शून्यता को समझते हैं तो उसकी जो अस्तित्वता है उसको ठीक से समझ सकते हैं। जो हमारे बुरे विचार हैं, बुरी भावना हैं, वो हमारे बुरे विचार हमारे क्लेश की वजह से आते हैं, हमारे अंदर बुरे क्लेश उत्पन्न होते हैं, इस वजह से दुर्विचार हमारे अंदर उत्पन्न होते हैं। तो ये सारी की सारी चीज़ों को अर्थात क्लेशों को नष्ट करने के लिए इस प्रकार की जो भावना है, इस प्रकार के जो विपश्यना या साधना है, मैं रोज़ अभ्यास करता हूँ तो इससे लाभदायक है, इससे फ़ायदा मिलता है। ये ऐसा ही नहीं है कि केवल ये मुझे ही फ़ायदा मिलते है, सारे लोगों को फ़ायदा मिलती है। जहाँ तक मैं अपना उदाहरण दूं तो ये अभ्यास करने से आया है। 60 वर्ष तक इसका अभ्यास करने के बाद ही ऐसा अनुभव हुआ है कि मुझे इसका अभ्यास करने से कुछ लाभ हुआ है।
Next question. Come here. Yes.
Yeah, can I ask
I think 10.
Yeah.
Perhaps 10 people who have some questions come here. Yes.
Okay, in my early days, I knew Buddhism as just plain Buddhism. But lately I know that there are various sects in Buddhism. It is Mahayana is there, Theravada is there, Vajrayana. Now this is added to my confusion and I don't know, one, what is the difference? Two, if I have to follow Buddhism, which of the sects do I need to follow?
Karsa. I think firstly, in order different sort of the substance, ingredients, and prepare well. Then actual sort of also they make food. Then there are cream, order. So all material is put there, not the way. So similarly, knowing all these sort of also the materials and the whole structure, then actual sort of practice now usually we call Atisha Dibumgara Gara sort of also the London. You see, he sort of advise the practice the way step by step. So then I think best explanation like Lama Tsongkhapa's Lamrin Chamo, very good. However, unless you know the kasate 되게 간다. 빈도 주든기. 시 내주 대니 렉독싱. den시 코원 주도 가서 주시시. 세면 장배 접순 대바된 탈람 싸워 추고 진지도 썼다. 또 데리샤. 봐. 셔야 디 럼름 나라다 송샤기 잠주디 기우 충무원도 제베 잠주래. 산제베 투모모이베 잠도 차투야 말해. 산제베 투모모이베 잠도 차야디 den시 코원 주도 시베 관에 애니 최군조 워시버잖아. 대등된 게 또 산제스잖아. 가다 최냥대 워체베 타네. 대 딘딘데 최군조 되다. 대등된 게 땀바테 애니 ten시 승리 렉송바 사디임버지. ten시 땀바 사디임버지 시버잖아. 애니 산제를 접순줘야 되네 긴두를 접순줘야 대대다 되네 애니 초송 원처버지 토네 접순줘야 다디 산제베 장종 회베 애니 네베 군조를 이치고 군조를 여버 이치네 대바사디 배지 나저는 지난 투모를 섬기 무디벌에 요래 이시처 가서 우리 이지다 애는 군조로 째지도다 배 롯데전 로데가로 전단디 지난 투모 배지 샤토를 섬기 자 드리인도 상계배 땀로 새로운데 두지기 동해를 통해 뭐 딘제기 추 군조라 때문에지 딘제기 추 군조 땡게 아니 가서 우리 벽에 타버 주변 저 라는 모습이 있다 디시브시 고도가 저장대 름림나라 디아 세브샤나 요마리 오늘 저는 변을 름림 심을 사셔버이나 기분 딩기 고대 den신 남상 오저나야 디 냐란셰 뭐지 젊으시 디 송배 소리 신이 태고치주 관계급수냐 빼 개천부시는 송야레스 그래서 인도산에 아니 가서 로마 띠에 림바야 추제자도 잘라 사시도가 그런 치면 알아. 디 젊으시 럼니 좀 남정 뭐 잡아차대 되잖아요. 또 무슨 그림 뒤 템포르지다. 가담가디 나한테 된대기. 가담 슝바와 치단디 패지 내사한테 드리성기. 디 뭐도 나라야. 주단 담반 남단에 사자라서 군조숨 사. 그럼 되는 신체는 티야디. 가담 슝바에 치단들이셔. 가담 슝바에 치단되기 도안에 아니 가서 우리 태고 다 태고 지중기 지금 잠준도다 지는 수도 셔버셔 당시 거be 그도라 라다 보발라 동의지 동에 조체네 아니 가라전에 교순들 교세네다 또 송샤디 그래도가 through my broken English so I have to rely a translator now translate
तो अभी ये इनका प्रश्न था कि मैं बचपन में सभी लोग अपने अपने धर्म को जो
Sorry. So what was His Holiness was teaching in Tibetan basically was that he mentioned that in order to understand the teaching, in order for us to take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we really need to understand what the teaching of the Buddha is and how to integrate those teachings within ourselves so that we are well introduced into the teaching, well introduced to the teaching itself. And by understanding the real Dharma itself, which is this principle of which actually we develop within ourselves to lead us out of samsara, suffering and its origin, then you see the truth in the teaching of the Buddha himself, and then you see the teacher himself as being someone infallible in giving such teachings. And when you admire and take refuge in the Buddha like that, then you also begin to see those who actually put his teachings into practice sincerely are the Sangha community. And it's not only that we should take refuge in the Buddha by saying, as it is usually taught, that the samsara, we should fear the terror of samsara and in general, and then the lower realms of existence in particular, and then see the Buddha Dharma and as Sangha and Sangha having the power to lead us out. But we should really then take refuge in the teacher and then also the Sangha. And that is actually what Master Tsongkhapa also mentions in his Lamrim chapter.
Also the preparation for next good life, so that life after life we can practice continuously. Then the Shanta, there was 6th chapter. Practice is very, very helpful. Then 8th chapter, how to develop infinite altruism. And then Nagarjuna's the first chapter of Ratnamala also include about shunyata. That's the method to achieve nirvana. So these are the basic, even including dream. I analyze these things. So Tantrayana practice come later, no hurry. Without this, like food without salt. So no matter how you say, beautiful sort of good material, without salt, no taste. Like that. So these two things, my own sort of daily practice of altruism, practice of wisdom which understand a high form of anatma. Okay, next question.
I'm blessed to be here and I love you. My question is, in your first session, you mentioned about how the education system should be and how to create others at the outskirts of Pune. We have a school, ashram and community where all parents and we have come together and we have started a school. So if I invite you, would you visit us? That is my question.
Precious. I love visit different places.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So please keep contact. It's my office.
Yes.
And then I think occasionally I visit South India because this is the major Buddhist. So occasionally, I think this winter also I am going there. So then you mentioned Pune.
Yeah, it's at outskirts of Pune, not in the city. It's on
that's okay. That's
hilltop.
okay.
Yeah.
From one monastic institution, I think few hours drive, Pune.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I will see.
Thank you very much.
If that visit materialize, then not simply, my talk, serious discussion. Then very good.
That's what I'm looking forward for.
Very good. Then maybe I also, ask some could be useful. Something practical, not just idea. Most of my talk, just like idea. Come together, then some realistic sort of concrete plan can develop. Like that. Okay.
Hello, I'm a disciple and if you can give us some of tips which you use in your own meditations to help us improve our practice.
Karsa. The clear instruction for meditation, both single-pointed meditation and analytical meditation, the Kamalashila, main disciple of Shantarakshita, who also carries some heated discussion with some Chinese scholars in Tibet. So his Gumrim, that I think useful. And then there are many books, the detailed sort of explanation or instruction, the meditation. I don't know, available in. So one difficult thing is you have to learn Tibetan. That's difficult. Some books, if you're really serious, then you can keep contact with my sort of office. Then we can send some. Yes, next question.
Yeah, Your Holiness, I have heard one story about
and
you.
And then also, I think you can, because some books from Sanat Institute, you will get some books. Okay.
Yes, Your Holiness, I heard one story about you that while you were having one gathering, one of the killed many of the Tibetan monks, and at that time you tell every. So I just want to ask, how is it possible for you, for any person, when the people are compassion and love for the opponents. How is it possible to develop, and is it possible for everybody to develop?
That you should read. Which explanation come? You read that. So after all, you see, use common sense. Yeah. Someone, you see, done something. Any help to solve the problem. Look, Palestine and the Israeli problem. Since 48, you see, violence, even American policy regarding Iraq, violence, latest, and Syria, these problems. Then also the Ukrainian problems. Never sort of work properly. Once you committed violence, then unexpected sort of motivation in your goal is something right. I know Mr. Bush, wonderful person. His motivation, I'm quite 100%, but method use force. So unexpected consequences will happen. So therefore, violent method is outdated. We should not sort of think. Then I always was telling regarding the Tibetan problem, our sort of way to carry this struggle is to see a sort of struggle between power of truth with compassion, power of gun with anger or distrust, fear. So we believe power of truth based on compassion, consistency, right? Somewhere, no? Maybe weak, but the strength or power of truth always remain short period. Short term, decisive, but long term, weak. And it is quite use force, violence, counter-violence. And violence creates more hatred here. Hatred is the source of problem. So only proper way solving problem or conflict is talk and reduce the other sort of thing. And talk, through talk, reduce suspicion, fear. And sort of, that's the only way. That's the human way. So we believe that, so we also implement these things. Like that.
Thank you.
Next question.
मैं हिंदी में पूछना चाहता हूँ.
Yes.
आप हुआ
Closer.
या अनाड़ी से लेके बड़े पढ़ाई तक कहते हैं, मगर उनको ज्ञान प्राप्त हुआ, इसका मतलब उनको क्या मिला? ज्ञान प्राप्त हुआ, इसका मतलब उनको क्या मिला?
हाँ, लेकिन ज्ञान प्राप्त हुआ क्या मिला?
Khasa. All right. 디 치드 치니 된 캠바 신샤기 거베조디 디 심부 장니방 엘랑가 예코메세네 어디 송샤다 딕달라 람코모 말바 샹라 팬 독발라 아니 팬 도세 유기 캄다 메바 발라니 디디 셰워바 캄다 메바 발라니 디디 셰베타네 대다 삼배 다 랑도네 된 셰베스 거바
तो जैसा कि प्रश्न पूछा गया कि भगवान बुद्ध ने ज्ञान प्राप्त किया.
And so, with regard to this, it is said in Pramanavartika that we have no need of someone who knows how many insects and bugs there are, the number of bugs and so forth. But what he says, what is needed to understand is that we need to understand how things are exactly, and then also need to understand the different mental dispositions in order to help others.
Without having.
Nasir sure is. I don't know. They dijare. Kasa chambe kojaji sejo. The gosumen on kasa. Oh, chambe pungi. Did jumba sachi. So that day, Jiri Jig Sumi, Mimai, Didi, chambe pungi, but that kasure. Do. Dindigi, Dindigi, but Gula Chamba top chumbo young Ajabina, cheap Simjang University, Pajil Mionisha. Thing I don't wash it in the year. So, when I try to get that, come to me, train I'm listening today. Oh, go to those. Really, a chico to stay there, Jansam de Gap Cone, children in Mundusa. Young driven the young Becadole, those Chapa comes steady to Kagach Mundus. Think I don't wash with the shy.
जैसा प्रश्न पूछा कि
So it is very important to understand the power of affection. When you have a very powerful, when your affection, compassion, love are very powerful, then the external harms will not be any obstacle to you. They will not be able to harm you, like the wild animals and so forth. Some of my friends who are meditators have told me that they can hear some animals, wild animals, making noise around their place. But then when they meditate on loving kindness and compassion, they are not. These animals do not come near them at all. And so this is what happens. And even if when some animals are nearby, when they meditate on loving kindness, they're not harmed.
His Holiness. I want to ask you, like in Buddhism, Jainism, and in Hinduism, the common thing is about rebirth or moksha or nirvana, liberation. Now, in Jain and Hinduism, they believe Atma or Atman, which after their death takes the rebirth or gets liberated, nirvana. But Buddhism differs in Anatman, which is understood that there is a no soul, birth after the death.
As
so
I mentioned,
maybe, the concept of Anatman, I'm not that clear because I was just wondering, then what's get liberated? After Lord Buddha also got liberated. Or there is a rebirth also.
The Buddhism, not at all denying existence of self. Self is there. But the entity of self is just a mere designation. It appears on our mind something solid, I there. That's the illusion. If we investigate, we can't find. Even the basis of self is human self is human body and human mind. Human body, analyze, you can't pinpoint this is human body. Everything particle, like a quantum field. So, no sort of asukasota. Charge chababa. Oh, 이네 균지차. 자다 균지차 봤어요. 이게 되게 러인바. 가다 강사 강도 독배 시 류를 차샤네. 봤자유는 니야메 등에. 셰베 귤을 때는 딱고 있는 셰베 귤이 잖아 니야메 되지. 자들이 이르잖아요. 풍몽하고 대다 짱을 신기도 만나고 따오시는 저런 손샷 들이. 강사 원이지 뭐 주바 정도 마세 강사 강도 독배 시 풍몽하고 대다 짱 따주잖아 니야요 말이지. 따주자 여당데 가려서는 때네 딱섬치리스. 따들이 다 때네 딱섬기 셰바요래 때네 딱섬기 류요래 될 때네 딱배 강사 때네 딱섬 강사요래 된대기 강사티 통마의 매 타마의 매 니바나를 통해 들이 경험실행에 들이 또 셈슬럼나 라벨류 rakwa lubruwe lyude sem, chawe lyude sem, nyungme lyude sem, shindu chawaji, shayore.
तो जैसा कि हम जानते हैं कि जो चित्त है उसकी संतति बराबर होती रहती है, लेकिन संतति इतनी सूक्ष्म है.
So with regard to the mind, of course, it has its continuity, although it doesn't have any extension in terms of some space. Sutra says even the five aggregates are empty of any inherent existence. So what it means is that although the self or the person mind exists, but when you try to search for the mind, and trying to look for some entity which is independent, existent, and so forth, but then you will not be able to find that. But on the basis of the mind, that we have designation of a person, and then accordingly, because of that designated nature of the person, or the mind, then we can talk about past and future lives or nirvana and so forth. Within the mind and body, there is the coarse, subtle, and the very subtle.
Is very strict about vegetarian.
That's right.
I don't know. I'm not so learned about Buddhism, but in Buddhism, I have heard that certain followers, even non-vegetarian is accepted. So I wonder, when the ahimsa is main like Jainism, then the non-vegetarian is the reason because of geographically it is accepted because it's spread throughout the world, or is it the Lord Buddha has permitted?
I think almost 1,000 years of some discussions. The Baba Bega now basically in Buddhist not prohibited eating meat. Any meat which you can see or you can killed for you, that should not accept. So strictly Buddhist monk, one time I discussed with one Sri Lankan Buddhist monk, neither vegetarian nor non-vegetarian. Reason, no private kitchen. Taking the baking bowl, alms bowl. Whatever they get, one vegetarian sort of family give vegetarian food, you should accept. That's Vinaya. According to Vinaya, like that. So, Thai Buddhist monk, Sri Lanka Buddhist monk, most of the Buddhist monk is like that. Then, some Buddhist author, Mahayana sort of text, some completely prohibited. So many Chinese Buddhists also is a vegetarian, and some flexible like that. And Japanese also, you see some very strict vegetarian. Then some text in Bodhisattva-yana, you see not as a Buddhist. In our settlement, right from the beginning, we did not start pickery, fishery, and poultry. Market, some meat available, then killing is completely stop like that. So then all major monasteries, they are common kitchen. Now last, I think, 10, 15 years, most now stop serving meat. So completely vegetarian food. Then also you see many different centers in Europe, in America, you see, we urge them as a sort of some kind of festival or something. should serve pure vegetarian. Then individual, up to them, like that. So it is right. So we totally sort of committed promoting vegetarianism. Like that. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Then I think myself, 1965, I become vegetarian. Next 20 months. Then develop jaundice problem. So my sort of the nails, eyes, the whole body become yellow. So because of hepatitis. So later I describe jokingly, at that time I truly become living Buddha. Whole body yellow, become yellow. So then, I think in 1966 or 67, then you see Tibetan physician, Kasachoti, allopathic sort of physician. They both suggest to me I should return the original the diet like that. So then, meanwhile, we committed fully the promotion of vegetarianism. The promoter himself still remains non-vegetarian. Of course, you see, not daily basis, twice a week, like that. Then big hotel available, then okay, all right. In my own kitchen, basically my own kitchen, not serving non-vegetarian food, like that. Then me, twice a week, like that. Right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good.